Frick, man, what is up, peeps? Welcome back to more CS news. I'm going to try not to be angry today because I'm happy and I'm also angry and there's a lot of CS news going down. So how are you guys doing on this fine good morning? My coffee's already gone, so that's why I may be closer to tilted right now. Astralis announcing some changes that probably should be expected with another major failure, but it hurts my heart because if you guys know me, you know what I'm about to say. I'm a Cadian fanboy, and as of today, their athletic director and Cadian have both been let go or benched by the organization in an announcement post just this morning. Again, to a lot of people out there, this should not come as a surprise whatsoever. The replacement, though, that will be HooXi, apparently set to join Astralis, which is great for HooXi because I'm also a fan of HooXi, so I got really mixed opinions right now. As Astralis first said, thank you, Cadian. Today we part ways with our sports director, sorry I said athletic director, and our IGL Cadian, as HooXi will join the team as in-game leader for the upcoming PGL Astana tournament. And from their CEO, He's pretty frank about this. As a consequence of our lackluster results culminating in the missed major qualification, today we are parting ways with both our sports director as well as Cadian. At the same time, we're making a change on the CS roster. Cadian will be benched, and we thank him for his time and efforts at Astralis. Casper has proved himself to be a true professional. However, in the end, neither he nor the team managed to reach the level of play that we had all hoped for. We wish Casper all the best going forward. To which, yes, I'm very sad this morning. I wish nothing but the best for someone like Cadian, but you can't deny that Astralis did not live up to expectations. It makes you wonder the future of some of their younger talents here, the future of maybe an older talent like Device, but with HooXi joining, we will see yet again a newly formed Astralis with a new leader, and I wish nothing but the best for HooXi as well in place of this roster and what their future is going to be. It's just, it's crazy. Cadian also saying, hey, interesting times. We'll share more later. I'm always excited for that, so we'll see what his future announcements will be. And it's got to be said, I love Cadian. I'm a fan of Cadian. Been a bit of stagnance recently with his results and performance, and of course his teams did not work out with Team Liquid, a pretty short period of time there, and now the Astralis, a fairly short period of time. You would say he is on a whim of, I hope he's got it, man. I think there is some energy left. There's a burst left for his career. What will that move be for Cadian? That is completely, well, unknown right now, and we await to see more. But Astralis, no shock here, 5 straight majors without making it. And so roster changes, I think, were probably imminent for their fan base, which is hanging on to a thread. So we'll see what Astralis goes, or where they go from here, because I don't know. And that's why I have mixed emotions this morning. Because I was originally going to start this video off with a fun story of M0nesy and Kyousuke. They were on FACEIT together just dominating, all right? The fact that these two are allowed to play together on FACEIT should be a crime in itself. But we spotted them on FACEIT, and of course, thanks to Reddit for capturing this too. And they're just tearing it up, which we have seen before in the interview with Devilwalk and Banks. Remember that 2-hour-long interview? It was actually M0nesy in that same interview talking about Kyousuke. He was kind of like treading around the topic lightly like he did with Nico before he eventually joined Falcons. He's like, yeah, he's a good player, man. He would fit a lot of teams out there. Of course, with the speculation, the speculative rumors out there that he too, Kyousuke, could be joining Falcons, and M0nesy just chilling offline playing with Kyousuke on FACEIT. I know these players bounce around, but it makes people wonder, and it makes some Falcons fans hope, unless you're a fan of like Tess's or a potential replacement over on that roster, because then it is also confusing because Tess's is an amazing talent. He has done so well for Falcons, and he is the tentative, I believe, replacement if Kyousuke were to join. And then, of course, you look on paper, Nico, M0nesy, Kyousuke, Kixon has an up-and-coming IGL, of course, proving his worth, and Magisk, and Coach Zon. You're like, oh my God. And they still claim to not be the highest paid salary team. I don't know. And while we're at it, guys, let's talk about our last story here today. That's going to be CS Pros. Every time I interview a CS Pro, I like the question of like, how much have you traveled this year? And most frequently that answer is well over half the year. Actually, most often it's over 200 days out of the year of travel, especially for North American guys, because they spend so much time not just in the tournaments abroad, but they spend a lot of their time on the planes to get abroad. That's M0nesy over with Complexity. He actually kind of was documenting their journey, and of course someone like Hallzerk alongside JT, their extra long journey, which just to get to Melbourne, there were some Aussies who got mad at me for how I pronounce Aussie. There were some Aussies yesterday who got upset because I'm from Iowa, okay? So I usually say Aussie, but I always forget it's Aussie. So there were some Aussies upset, but I said Melbourne correctly, all right? I mean, come on, you got to give me that one. 48 hours almost it took these guys. 48 hours of travel to get to Aussie Town. Frick, I'm sorry. I just can't even imagine being expected to play likely the next day. I'm sure they get a little bit of time to recoup, but not much. I cannot, guys, my longest time traveling, I think, was like somewhere between Korea and Sweden. I think eventually, all in all, it was like 30 hours. I have never felt worse in my life in terms of tiredness, sickness. It was just awful. The longest leg flight was 14 hours. I think theirs was 13, but 48 hours. You leave on a Monday. Of course, you're traversing world time zones, and you get there on a Wednesday. That has to throw you off for competition. So if you're wondering why NA, part of the struggle is abroad, it does play a factor. I've talked to Jason about this, Jason Lake of Complexity. It does play a factor when you have to traverse that many time zones in such a short span of time and spend so much time in the air and then compete at the top level. That's all I'm saying. Give us NA guys, especially Complexity at IEM Melbourne. You got to give them some leeway, okay? And we await to see. We'll break down more of those results in the future. What do you guys think? Till next time, hope you all enjoy CS News. Enjoy some caffeine today for me, maybe some water closely after, and I'll see you back here sometime soon. Take care.